to the world with the U.S.-Saudi partnership. Its first rays were witnessed from a warm handshake on the USS Quincy between the late King Abdulaziz Al Saud and the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt on February 14, 1945.
As a young student of about 7 in grade school in Jeddah, a school called the Al Saudiya School, we were taken walking from the school, which was not very far away from the old gate called the Bund Gate in Jeddah, to witness the departure of the late King Abdulaziz on a boat owned by the British consulate in Jeddah to the USS Murphy, which carried him to the Salt Bitter Lake to meet with President Roosevelt in 45, just before the president died, a few months before, I think. And the meeting took place on the USS Quincy. So he moved from the Murphy to the Quincy and met the president. So we were taken there and we sang a song that the school taught us on that occasion for the king. And it said that Abdulaziz of the clan of the Al Saud, who saved the country from the poverty it was undergoing. It rhymes in Arabic, but that was the first verse and I can't remember the others.
Saudis received Americans on their warm desert sands and into their homes, and socialized around campfires drinking Arabic coffee. After the discovery of oil, Saudi Arabia would host many more Americans. Parker T. Hart was the point man to communicate with the Saudis, to learn Arabic, to learn the laws and the traditions of the land. In advance of receiving 3,000 American workers, Pete Hart, as he was known to his friends, established the first American consulate in Dhahran on September 2, 1944, to facilitate their arrival and stay. A successful task fulfilled by Mr. Hart, who was known as Mr. Saudi Arabia in the State Department, was dispatched again to the Desert Kingdom for a second time, making him a cornerstone on which the relationship between the two countries would advance.
He was a warm-hearted person, very interested in the service, very much a straight arrow, very decent and honest person. You never had any doubt when he told you something that he meant what he said, and he was somebody who was very big on details. He would. I remember when I took him out to the airport to put him on the airplane, I'd been told by someone in the Bureau of Near Eastern and South Asian Affairs, now just wait, he's going to call you before you get home. And it's absolutely right, he did. There was something he'd forgot to tell me, and he wanted to make sure I took care of it.
Mr. Hart married Jane Smiley Hart, who was working in the Office of Strategic Services, the forerunner of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, in Alexandria, Egypt, before settling in Saudi Arabia. By 1961, Mr. Hart became ambassador to the kingdom. Mrs. Hart had an ever-growing social responsibilities. She connected with Saudi women and learned about the wildlife in that part of the world. Her friendships with Saudis still continue today in the United States.
كنا على طول على اتصال طبعا فترة كنا فيها في السفارة كان الاتصالات أكتر بكتير. وبعدين قلت بحكم سفرنا وبحكم هم كمان حياتهم الخاصة. دلوقتي برضو بنشوف بعض قد ما نقدر يعني.
That's great.
Whatever I say about Miss Hart is not enough for her. So I can't say much.
Mr. and Mrs. Hart contributed greatly to the United States by serving in Saudi Arabia and in establishing the strong bilateral relations we share today. Most importantly, they nurtured this prosperous Saudi-American relationship with dedication, vision, and understanding. Saudis and Americans owe them a debt of deep gratitude for laying the groundwork of this fruitful relationship.
I believe our friendship should be basically absolutely sound because we developed the oil together. We saw the Middle East rise into modern times together. We discussed many of the local problems mutually for now 50 years, going on almost 60 years. We've had a very close relationship.